Welcome to the Cincy Postcast. I'm Kevin Wallace, and before we get started with today's episode, I get the privilege of telling you about our friends over at Streetside Brewery. Oh, so happy to have them on board. Streetside, located in Columbia, Tusculum, is just a lovely spot to go enjoy a beverage and enjoy an afternoon, enjoy an evening. It is awesome. It's a good spot over there. It's one of my favorite places to be in the whole city. I'm not going to lie to you. And one of my favorite things about Streetside, the events, they've always got cool stuff going on. And coming up on Friday, September 5th, so next week, it's Oktoberfest, baby. Okay, they've got good stuff going on there. You got to check them out. If you have not already, please go check them out. You can also find them in the fridge of local grocery stores and pick up a 4-pack, a 6-pack, and take it to your next outing. Streetside Brewery is just one of the best, if not the best, is the best local brewery, and so happy to have their support. So you should be going and supporting them. So a huge thank you to Streetside for sponsoring this episode. And on today's episode, well, I hate to say it, we talk a lot about soccer in this one. Okay, we talk a lot about soccer in this one. The preview of the Philadelphia match is huge. I mean, the match is huge. The preview's fine. This is a big one. This is probably the biggest match of the season so far for FC Cincinnati. Get hype, get excited for this one. But maybe the bigger news is my man, Turner Hahn, coming through for me and getting some season tickets. Okay, it's a big deal. It's a big day in the postcast. Enjoy the celebratory preview episode of the Cincy Postcast. Joining me to talk about all of that and more, I am joined by two gentlemen who are as hyped as I am that I got season tickets. I'm joined by Grayson. I'm joined by the Chief. Chief, should I be this excited about forking over a lot of money for a team that I do a podcast for?
I mean, I think you should be embarrassed that you were doing a podcast for a team that you weren't willing to fork money over for.
I was trying to. I was on a waiting list to spend money.
Not to quote your hero and mine, Mr. Jeff Birding, but surely you knew people that could have taken care of your suffering and your plight already. I think you enjoyed being on the wait list, and that you're not like that. This was your gimmick, and now you are worried how your gimmick will play now that you can no longer be like, I want to have season tickets to this club, but I can't get them because I'm on the wait list. Congratulations. You're just a schmo like the rest of us now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very Trumpian.
Ooh.
I could afford to pay my contractors, but I'm not going to.
Right.
Well, what I should have done was pay like 90% of my season tickets, right?
Well, no, it was very art of the deal is that you had season tickets, you were paying them, you let everyone believe you were, something you weren't, a season ticket holder, but then you thought you found a loophole.
Yes, this is
to stop spending money. And then made yourself the victim later on, like, I can't get tickets to this club. What's going on here?
Actually, while all of these things have elements of truth, really the cynical move was I just wanted to be a man of the people. All right. Look, I'm not a fancy season ticket holder. I'm not getting comped any tickets. I'm just like the regular Joe Plumber, just on the wait list, just looking to get there. And now I've joined the elites, unfortunately.
You know what I really, really want to do now? I want to text someone that runs comms to put out a statement saying that they cut you to the front of the line.
So there was a tiny part of me that thought, did somebody get a phone call? Was there an email like, hey,
it doesn't matter if that happened. It's about to be the news that comes out, I think.
What would be funnier is if somebody came out and said, it has come to our attention that there were irregularities in the season ticket holder priority line this year. and some people were given priority who were not in line for it. And so we have rearranged who gets tickets, and we are going to create a new ticket selection window based on the true and proper order. And actually, we are going to stop the steal.
Yeah,
well, I was going to say, if you are listening to this show on the Orange and Blue Reserve, and did not get season tickets,
oh no, wait,
you may be
there's only one thing to do.
You may be
there's only one
to
thing
a
for you to do.
Big cash settlement.
We're storming the Bailey.
We're going to audit. We're going to audit the Orange and Blue Reserve. We're going to insist on paper ballots and a paper trail to find out who was selected and how it happened.
I mean, what's the objection? Like, do you object to like finding out who genuinely deserved tickets?
No, see, I don't
like.
Object
You don't
to
want
that.
to find out that the process was honest.
I want.
You don't want to know
find
that?
out.
Are you not interested in finding that out?
I need my personal lawyer to meet with my co-conspirator ahead of time, and I just want to be able to redact any and all documents before they are made public. Okay, that feels like a fair compromise.
This would be an excellent use of our secret press conference location that I've been pestering us to do a press conference at for a number of years.
We gave Kevin immunity and all of Kevin's potential co-conspirators immunity in exchange for I don't know, something. Who cares?
Something, a free beer.
Yeah. It's a wild night. We're all booking next week's guest interview in a group chat while we're recording the podcast, which is always a great time.
We're also trying to figure out what our plans are tomorrow.
Ooh, is this a little foreshadowing?
I don't know.
I hope it is, actually, based on the text message we just got.
I gotta figure some stuff out, but maybe.
Oh, I like it. No, I cannot move on from this topic without first thanking my season ticket rep, Turner Hahn. Okay. Turner took care of me. Turner is very diligent. Turner is very good at communicating. For anybody who they hear this, or if Turner may clip this and post this to whoever he reports to, he does a very good job, very communicative, very helpful, very polite. And I think I got to get him on the podcast because I am curious, like the day in the life of.
Now we understand how. Yes. Now we understand how this ticket process works. This is called payola in the business, by the way.
We always said we'd pay, or we'd sell out. Okay,
plugola and payola going on in real time right here.
So the real perk here is that I get to spend money.
Yeah. That always struck me as odd that it was illegal to pay a radio station to play your record. It's like, that seems like something that the perk of owning a radio station is that people just pay you to play stuff.
Also, how different is that than an advertisement?
Yeah, I don't know.
Could I just buy 2 minutes of airtime to put my single?
It's one of those old-timey media laws where it's like, oh, they used to take this stuff so seriously, didn't they? They used to believe this was real, that this wasn't all just bought and paid for.
It goes hand in hand with the very amusing obsession that the British have of radio number ones, and like being the number one record in the country is to this day still like a very important thing to their culture, and people are very aware of
especially
this.
At Christmas, being the Christmas number one.
It's a big deal, right?
Right, and that's why we have noted Christmas hit that everybody loves playing during the holiday season.
Santa Super Sleigh.
I was to say, simply having a wonderful Christmas time.
No, Santa's Super Sleigh. That's the one.
Wasn't Rage Against the Machine? A Rage Against the Machine song was within the last 10 years a Christmas number one, thanks to a concerted online campaign to get
Killing
that done.
In the name of.
There it is.
There we go.
Reindeer on Parade.
Yeah, they should have Christmasized it, as is tradition.
Slaying in the name of.
Now we're talking.
Come on, we're burning through Christmas episode content we're desperately going to need when we get to the winter time.
The Rage Against the Machine Christmas album. I'll just make a note of that real quick. And
notes app.
Chief?
Yes,
man,
sir.
There's a couple of pieces of news in the FCC world.
We're going to talk about me finally getting to see Oasis after 25 years, 30 years of waiting tomorrow. FC news. Never mind.
Well,
are you going to Chicago for Oasis?
I certainly am.
Nice.
We I thought so long and so hard about it, but my weekend plans made it basically impossible if I wanted to sleep at all this week.
So I'm 95% convinced this concert isn't going to happen because the band's going to break up, and we're going to find out. I know exactly where I'm going to be when I find this out. I will be just past the windmills through West Lafayette, Indiana on the drive up.
Yes.
And it will be too far to turn around. So we're just going to have to go to Chicago and, I don't know, go see a White Sox game or something like that.
Is there an opening act, or is it an evening?
Yeah, it's the
with
National
Oasis?
Guard.
Oh no, isn't it? It's Cage the Elephant, right?
It's Cage the Elephant.
Yeah. Yeah, you and a 6-mile long line of Humvees will be descending on Chicago this weekend.
It's called a parade. Come on. No, the FC. Yeah. Brenner's back, baby.
Brenner is back. The reports out of training camp so far are good.
Or come on, like, we're not an NFL podcast here.
Oh, good point. Good point. But I think it was Roman Celentano that said this. I'm going to quote from Carter Chapley's telling of this story. They had a brief time with Roman today, saying, obviously Brenner was unreal when he was here. That time away probably grew his game. He's coming back, looks maybe more mature. I mean, he's always been quality, but he just seems like he's bringing something else to the table.
Now, when he says mature, we know what he really means, and that's he was wearing glasses during training today.
Yeah. He was doing a Sudoku in the locker room.
They were like, wait, you're not Brenner. You're Brazilian Clark Kent. That's a completely different person.
Brenner wears like hypno glasses so defenders can't see him.
He could bring rec specs. Come on, that'll be fun.
Chris Sabo style.
Yeah.
Brenner Sabo de Souza.
I love the quote. I think that's good. I mean, I feel like if anybody is going to be asked about Brenner, they're going to say nice, good things. It would be insane for Roman to be like, yeah, he really seems off and disappointed to be here. But
not just that, but like, I don't know. I feel like we've heard a lot about like how good players are in training from different players.
Yes.
And like, awesome. But we need to see it in a game. We like, I believe in Brenner's talent. 100%. We've seen it. We know the player he at least was a couple of years ago.
Yes.
But like, yeah, let me see it. You
guys are looking at this all wrong with Brenner.
Okay.
All right. You have to assume that, okay, so the Cincy Postcast, in the true, Cartesian, I think, therefore I am, we exist as a podcast covering FC Cincinnati.
I hope so.
There are multiple podcasts around the world and around MLS that cover other teams, correct?
Okay, sure. I assume.
So I assume that, there is a parallel version of the Postcast with, 3 Italian gentlemen, one of whom enjoys natural beer, I'm guessing.
I like that alternative world. Yeah, that's funny.
Another one that is,
he's IPA. Is that a natural beer? Okay.
Like another one that has been desperately attempting to get Udinese season tickets for a while because he gave them up.
That feels unlikely. I'm going to guess if you want Udinese tickets, you can get them.
And a large, loudmouth Italian. Like, that's something I could never picture existing ever based on my interactions.
That's pretty unrealistic.
I am assuming this podcast exists.
Certainly the person being Italian would have nothing to do with them being loudmouth.
No, just he's a podcaster.
I want to be clear.
He's a loudmouth.
Just somebody who's a loudmouth who happens to be Italian, both independent variables.
Right.
Yes.
Maybe not a loudmouth, but certainly uses his hands more than the average Italian when talking.
Which is good podcasting.
It's just good podcasting. It's great Italian podcasting. You can hear the hands over the audio recording.
I'm now imagining actually like a separate hand mic, and you just hear lots of whooshes.
It's very video podcast. You have to be able to see the emojis popping up on your screen as you use it. But I'm imagining the perspective of this Udinese il postcasto, if you will.
Yes.
And I'm imagining what would infuriate this podcast and be the funniest possible outcome for this podcast.
Okay.
And it would be Brenner coming back to FC Cincinnati and just absolutely bawling, like right from jump. Like, I have to presume that at some point, the funniest possible outcome exists on the other side, not with one of our players going and getting better somewhere, but with somebody else's player coming here. And it's like, you gotta be kidding me. We paid 10 million euros for this guy that can't get off the bench. He goes back there and immediately scores a hat trick. You cannot Mamma mia, you cannot be serious.
I mean, he's still on loan, so I guess there is some degree of like, you still want him to do well, because at a minimum it'll mean like your team can get some money. But yeah, it would be very funny for him to immediately ball out and look like a $10 million Brazilian striker in MLS. Like, come on.
Right. And the other thing too is that with Brenner, that like what was always the talk about Brenner was that he has incredible talent, but the maturity level wasn't there. That like he was a little mercurial in his performances.
Right.
He was young. This was the first country he'd lived in outside of South America. There were adjustment issues. Yeah. Well, I mean, compared to moving over to Italy, this should feel right like home. Yes. He's had a couple more years to grow, develop, find himself, perhaps, immerse himself in different cultures, different food. He's coming back home to Skyline Chili and La Rosas. This is just like home for Brenner, right? For Brenner right here. This is where he finds his center. This is where his story reemerges, and I am placing an unrealistic amount of expectations on how this is going to go, because the universe seems to be aligning in this being incredible.
I'm into it. I am into it. I was just curious about this, and I looked it up, and I think Grayson will get a kick out of this. Grayson, do you know who Udinese replaced Brenner with, for all intents and purposes here? They signed a striker.
Jurgen Locadia.
No, but would be incredible content. Adam Buska, former New England Revolution striker, is recently joined Udinese as a striker, 29 years old. I just thought it was funny that Brenner was ultimately replaced by another MLS product or whatever. So that was funny. Yeah, Chief, we've been hype about Brenner, as we should. We had an entire special episode dedicated to him. Go check that out. And it was certainly not the right place to do this. I don't think we looked at it with some critical eyes, or maybe some level of criticism. So let me ask Grayson this. Grayson, how do we square the player that we know Brenner can be and the hopes and dreams of the player that we want Brenner to be this season with ultimately how his time in Italy has gone, which I would say has not been successful so far?
Yeah, I think part of it is what I've been telling people. I guess let's call them normies. Who,
yeah, okay.
Who asked me what's going on here? Most of them
coworkers, you refuse to divulge the fact that you're a podcast host.
Most of them are like, oh, he's like going. He goes to the soccer games. Like, so what their thing is we already know he's really good here, and he went and we predicted this when he went. Like, you go into places, you get into unsettled situations, your talent doesn't go away. Like, you do lose form sometimes, but he went into a bad team, he got injured, his coach got fired, like this and that and the other thing. He's been good under our coach.
Yeah.
In our system.
And so, like,
the worst team that Noonan has coached so far, for whatever that's worth.
Yeah. And like, he's going from a bad situation to a good situation. Right. Okay. And like, I know we would question some of his decision making before, but I do think that, to the extent Roman is saying like, oh, Brenner has matured, and he's getting like maybe better advice or listening to his advisors a little bit more. It's a weird choice to make for a player in his position to say, instead of doing like the first half of a season in a team that I've had preseason with, I'm going to another league in another continent.
Yeah.
And playing 6 games plus whatever.
Right.
There has to be some confidence on the player, on his advisors, that he's going to show something here in that period of time that he's not going to show in the first half season at Udinese. And
that's interesting.
So I think a lot of people had to weigh in on this move, right? And they all would know the kind of irregularities about it. Yeah. And yet everybody's bought in. Right?
That makes sense.
So I'm very optimistic for how he's gonna fit into the team.
Yeah. I was just going to say,
I don't know if that was answering to the question, because I was sending a text message when you asked the question. So I just said some stuff.
No, that was good. Basically, how do we square his performance in Italy versus what we want him to be and what we have seen him to be? That is an interesting point. And honestly, I hadn't even thought about it, but it is kind of interesting that he has gone back on loan to MLS and specifically FC Cincinnati instead of, say, another MLS team, or maybe more likely a different European team.
Yeah.
Like a Greek or Austrian team that might be in the Europa Conference League, or even a different Italian team that maybe a lower, a recently promoted team could have used him and he could have started. I think it's interesting that he came back here instead of any of those other options. I don't know if those existed, and maybe they didn't, and that's why he ended up here. But you've certainly seen players, once they get to Europe, they're not usually dying to leave right away. Their hope is to continue to stay there. So, yeah, I don't know, Chief, how do you see this?
I mean, to a certain extent, he had to want to come back here.
Right.
That had to be like his call, because like Grayson said, there's a lot of other places in Europe that probably make more sense for Udinese to do business with, and for him to be close by, to be monitored by the team, whatever it is. That there had to be a desire for him to want to be here.
Yeah.
Not for nothing too. When you get sold over to Europe, especially a player like Brenner's age, they're kind of grossly indifferent if you're successful. Like, they're not going to cater to you or play around you. You either get in and fit in immediately, or they're on to the next guy, and they're churning and burning. And there is so much pressure on these teams to immediately make things work that, he went from a situation where he was a designated player, where people were building the offense around him, to a place where it's like, well, you got to make this work. We're not going to do it. We're not going to change a damn thing we do to accommodate you or bring you along. And he's going back to a situation now where they're going to build the offense and build things around accommodating him like they do with Evander. And, we wish a little more with Denke. And the other thing, too, the other reason why I think this is going to be more successful is, in addition to everything you said about the problems that he had at Udinese, you look up and down the roster at Udinese. I'm just going to start reading. Georgia, Ivory Coast, Italy, Germany, Netherlands, Belgium, France, Denmark, Zimbabwe, Italy, Bulgaria, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, France, Italy, Poland, France, Netherlands, Scotland, Angola, Slovenia, Poland, England, Ivory Coast, Spain, Italy, Chile. There's only one other South American on that roster. And, that kind of stuff, it matters a little bit in terms of culture and, fitting in and play style. And he's going from that, which, knowing nothing about the players on Udinese's roster other than, where they hail from and making some generalizations about that, to now he's coming into a team with another Brazilian that he played with, in his youth, other South American players and our coaching staff and a roster that, is familiar to him. I think the ingredients are all there for this to be really successful. It might not be. It might be another Nicholas Gioacchini situation because he's had so little time to come in and he's sort of trying to come in midstream and find his place and find his footing. That's a possibility. I just don't see it here. It feels like this is something where it makes a lot of sense for all parties, and he should be highly motivated because if he wanted to come back here on loan, I'm damn sure that he wants to be bought here and come back here permanently for whatever that is.
Yeah, and it's going to give a lot to defenses to think about, regardless. Yeah, it doesn't need to be a perfect fit. They don't need to work seamlessly with each other.
He doesn't need to score.
You have 3 people now on the team who would be the best player on
most MLS teams,
a number of MLS teams, right? Yeah. They would be the guy that opponents have to focus on, right? And you can't focus on 3 guys, right?
You might be able to do 2, but you can't do 3 in MLS.
Yeah, and to the extent that the teams have been able to basically clog the box and phase out Denke from getting touches. I think it's going to open up stuff for Denke, right? Either Brenner's going to get goals or he's going to open up opportunities for Denke.
Yeah, which is
it
why
just really feels like one or the other is going to happen.
Which is why you can't focus on goal totals for Brenner in this short span. Yeah. You got to focus on team results. And if it's your number one wide receiver doesn't have to be great in order to be impacting the game. If he's drawing the best cornerback in double coverage the entire time and leaving things wide open for somebody else. There are games where Jamar Chase is the most important player on the field, even if T. Higgins is getting all the catches. And that's the idea Grayson's talking about there. Just having that third option on the field that genuinely strikes fear is going to be a game changer in and of itself, regardless of what kind of form Brenner's in.
Well, Chief, you just preempted the next question I was going to ask, which is goals per 90. So per 90 minutes, I don't know how many minutes he'll get to play. Do we think he gets more than a half a goal per 90 minutes played?
So that would be so I'm assuming he's going to start on Saturday, and I'm assuming he's going to play. I'm assuming he's 70 minutes match fit at this point, probably 75 minutes match fit.
I mean, he did a whole preseason with Udinese. I would hope he is fully match fit, but
okay. I mean,
I don't know how he feels about the system, and there may be a planned rotation of putting in Jabari or Kai or whoever in that spot.
So I'm going to assume that he gets. I'm going to go over. I'm bullish on this, honestly. And I mean, the thing about Brenner too is it's 6 games. He has the possibility to net 3 in any one of these. We've seen that.
Yeah, he does for sure.
Yeah. So if he scores 3 against Philly, he will essentially have done that if he starts every game.
And that's the other thing about Brenner too that I like is that this team needs a little bit of a killer instinct attitude
Yeah.
Brenner doesn't take his foot off the gas. His foot sometimes misses the accelerator entirely. And maybe that's something that like maturity has changed. But like when he scores, he keeps trying to score, which I think this team needs a little bit of that attitude.
I do think Brenner is a killer in a way that I'm not sure everybody, despite all their talents on the offense of this team is. And it's not like necessarily saying he's like the best player in our offense. But what we saw from him was like he gets that look in his eyes,
Yeah. Yeah.
And he would have that attitude. He would get frustrated and like hit people in a way that like it's not always the smartest thing,
Correct.
But like,
correct.
but he had an edge to him.
Yes. Not maybe a bad comparison. The Clint Dempsey to Landon Donovan, right? Like, I think by most objective metrics, and most people would probably say Landon was the better player, but Dempsey was truly the heart and soul of the team and was out there trying and was sort of the fiery spirit of it. The last time we saw Brenner truly perform for this team, he certainly scored after this, don't get me wrong, and played, but it was that decision day match against DC where they just needed a win and got a goal in like the first 5 minutes. It was a terrible DC team. There was like nobody in the stands. They played a bunch of teenagers.
Yeah, sure. Wouldn't it be nice to have that on some of these other teams we've played with somebody that came in and was like, I'm ending this game in the first 5 minutes and taking your soul with me.
But not just that, scored a hat trick in that game. Was not satisfied with just beating the teenagers 1-0.
And we potentially needed to win that game.
We did with potentially some other results. It was a very tight race.
I think ultimately the results that we needed happened. So I don't know that we like needed to. I think we were in a playoff spot, and there was a potential that like a bunch of results would knock us out. It wasn't a 100% need to win it in, but like
didn't need to win by 5 or whatever it was.
Yeah, I would have loved to have beaten DC United by 5.
Yes,
this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
So excited to have him there. Yeah, just I wanted to maybe poke at it a little more critically now that we've had some time to sit with it.
And I want to be very clear because I think we've talked Brenner up quite a bit.
Yeah.
There is nothing. Well, there are very few things that could happen where I would come away with this and say the Brenner move was a failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for me, the win is getting him in the door.
What would that look like?
Like he would have to like hurt Kevin Denke in practice with a knife.
And like a big knife, because I don't think those abs can be punctured by a steak knife.
Like if Brenner's like bad on the field, who cares? Just start Kamara, start Dotto, start somebody else, and then whatever.
And don't pick you don't have to pick the buy option up either. Yeah. It's like this is the exact opposite of the Joe Aquini move in this regard. Right. This is in limited upside to this move, whereas the Joe Aquini move, it felt like a limited upside move.
Well, Joe Aquini, we needed somebody to like be the guy.
Yeah.
We needed like the striker.
Joe Aquini last year was like if we only got Jabari in this year.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
Jabari was maybe better in the French second division.
Yeah, something to be said for that.
But yeah, like we don't need a guy. We don't need the guy.
We've got the second most expensive signing, third most expensive signing in MLS history.
We just need another guy.
And I mean, Grayson, to your point, like if he sucks and he gets benched, like,
all right. Cool.
It's kind of the same team that was already in first, second, third place on the Supporters Shield all year. So minus Yedlin plus Marzuk. So we'll see how it goes. Also, we'll touch on a little bit more of this in the Philly preview. I've got a couple other things I want to mention. This one was pretty cool, a little unusual, a little fun. The Newsweek recently ran a poll, a reader's choice contest, whatever it was, where they were trying to determine the best MLS supporters group in 2025, and who won. But the Pride, the Pride for FC Cincinnati, they won. Congratulations to the Pride. Pretty fun. Chief, you and I helped the Pride in some of the earlier days. You were certainly there before me, and we were lucky enough to work with them recently on the 10-year anniversary event and match thing. So very, very excited to see that. Love seeing the national recognition there.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I was pleased to see a lot of the other FC Cincinnati supporters rally behind it. It's just a general FC Cincinnati thing, since we do have different groups here versus like the Nordecki or the Timbers Army or whatnot. And it's cool. Just proving what I've always thought. And that's that the beating heart of soccer in America is right here in Cincinnati. So to the haters and the losers, of whom there are many, go screw.
I
love a good fan poll. This does bring me a little bit of joy for the bad old days. We used to just rock at fan polls. Like there was a fan poll out there. It was like we were magnetically attracted to the fan poll. And, I'd noticed, we were slipping a little bit. Some of the St. Louis winning a lot of fan polls. San Diego winning some fan polls. This is good to see us winning a fan poll again. We'd like that.
I think if you graded on a curve with like recent expansion teams getting that, sort of like popularity pop, sure, they're doing good. But I still think FC Cincinnati punches above its expected weight. The expected fan vote.
The XF, if you will.
Yes. I think we beat the XF on most polls.
Yeah, I agree. This is good.
Other things in FC Cincinnati news: Roman Celentano getting a U.S. men's national team call up. He will not miss any game time. This is an international break that is pre-planned in the schedule. Grayson, I don't think we expect him to play in either of these matches. Maybe he gets a half somewhere in there, but I don't know. How do we feel about this?
Chief, you seem to have some feelings on this.
Yeah, Chief, please. You've got thoughts.
Yeah, no, you said we don't expect him to play. I don't know if that's true. Like, it's Pochettino. He is made a point saying he's evaluating players in the player pool right now. I don't know that he has loved anything he has seen thus far while coaching the team. It would not surprise me if Roman Celentano saw action in this cup or in these friendlies, just because it really does seem like they are trying to work through and figure out who they want to take to the World Cup in 2026. And unless I miss my guess, I don't think he's seen Celentano in camp yet.
I don't think so. I kind of agree with Chief though, where like Pochettino came out and he said that this is the last camp to see different players that we haven't seen before. Mm-hmm. And so it does seem like he's interested in expanding the pool, or at least seeing the full breadth of the pool.
Yeah, the fringes of the pool here.
They're two friendlies. I never understand when they have two friendlies and they just play one goalkeeper 90 minutes both games.
It makes no sense.
What's the point of that?
Especially when they change out the defenders. Like if it was like I want to build chemistry with my center backs and goalkeeper, that makes sense. But they're swapping center backs the whole time.
But they don't have a number one goalkeeper in this camp.
Right.
Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Poch really likes Matt Freese. I don't think Matt Freese is the number one for the national team. I think he's a really good goalkeeper. Yep. Like I think I like Matt Freese on the national. I think he's the number one goalkeeper, at least in the national team depth chart in this camp. But what's the harm in playing all three? Like maybe you give a 90 to Freeze, and then you give 45 to Roman, 45 to Klinsmann.
Right.
Like who's hurt by that? And at least you got to see them against like in a game against it. Like they're playing decent teams. They're playing what, South Korea and Japan?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're going to lose both games. Like I'm not making a joke here. I think they're going to lose both games. So
why not?
Like play everybody, right?
Yeah.
See how people perform, under real pressure. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see, given what Poach has said about the goals for this camp, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Roman. I don't really expect to see him.
Yeah. But it wouldn't surprise me.
Yep.
Yeah. Stay tuned for more takes on the U.S. men's national team over on the World's Gam. But look, this is the optimal situation if you're going to have a player called in, is he's not going to miss any game time.
Yeah.
And of the players that you would want to be training with the new guys, the one I'm least worried about having on the field is Roman Celentano, because the center back pairings aren't changing. So you're not going to need to worry about him getting chemistry with anyone new on the back line. So like, this is great. Like if they would have called in, if Pavel Buko would have been called in somewhere, or, Evander would have been called in somewhere, that would have been a catastrophe for trying to onboard all these new people. But this is just great. This is just some easy shine for Roman, easy shine for the team. And, hey, maybe he opens up some eyes, and that would be a really cool thing for Roman to, even if it doesn't like result in him getting to the World Cup, just to elevate his status within the pecking order of the national team would be important, given how long the lifespan is for a goalkeeper's international career. Him moving up in this camp would be positive trajectory for Roman Celentano, because he was kind of off the radar there for a little bit.
Yeah.
I think he's earned being in the extended pool.
Oh, absolutely. And with his play this year, no doubt.
I don't expect him to get a call in for the World Cup, but I'm glad that he's called in this window, because it means that, he's technically
they're thinking about him
in the group that's possible. And it's great. I think it's great news for Roman. I'm happy for him.
Yeah. The other thing too, we were talking about this with Roman specifically, was that, given what the prognosis is for the U.S. men's national team, I don't know that they shouldn't be looking at shot stopper first, distributor second, in terms of who they have playing in goal. And I think Grayson, you were held this
viewpoint.
I was going to give
the U.S. men's national team needs to have a shot stopper.
I was going to give you credit with this idea that, like you brought up, that what is the high watermark moment for the U.S. men's national team? It required Tim Howard saving 30 shots in a game against Belgium. Like that's how this team stays in games, is all out fire drill defending and your goalkeeper making 5 to 10 spectacular plays. And of the goalkeepers in the pool, Roman Celentano is probably top of the list in terms of will do that kind of spectacular stand on his head routine.
I'd say of the goalkeepers who are realistically in the pool, the goalkeepers who, I don't think there's a goalkeeper in the pool who's going to do a Tim Howard against Belgium performance, because we don't have a Tim Howard in this goalkeeper pool.
I mean, we could add Tim Howard if you want.
Yeah, we could. But I think that the keepers who get you closest to that are Matt Turner, Matt Freeze, Roman.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Those are the keepers in the pool. And I know we haven't seen Roman in a game with the national team, but those are the goalkeepers in the pool where it's you are going to be shelled all game, and you're going to have to make a bunch of reaction saves. You're going to have to save the ball. You have to sit on the ball. You're just going to be under pressure all game. those are the guys who are going to do it.
Right.
Yeah. So the plan needs to be Roman Celentano for the first 90, Matt Turner in for penalties if it goes to extra time.
Well, Matt Turner's not in this camp, but yeah.
Yeah, like at the World Cup is what that needs to be. Yeah, at the World
Cup. Yeah. Well, if you want a goalkeeper for penalties, I really feel like it's probably Ethan Horvath, but
yeah,
who saved like 2 penalties yesterday in the League Cup for Sheffield Wednesday.
Evan may be eligible. Just throwing it out there.
Evan is eligible.
Go get in people's heads too. That's good.
More on that, as we said in World Scam. One last thing. I did not know Jonathan Klinsmann was still playing professionally. That blew my mind.
I didn't know either. I was like, where is this guy? Is he still like on the bench for LA Galaxy?
Because that's what I thought. I was like, did we really bring in the Galaxy backup keeper? He's apparently moved on a free to a Serie B team named after an airplane. So there you go.
Boeing 737 United.
It's like Cessna, right?
Yeah, I'm choosing to call them Cessna. I doubt that's how it's pronounced.
It's like Shazana or something.
Yeah. So I didn't look at this too carefully. They called up Seb Berhalter in this camp, right?
Yes.
So they've got Berhalter's kid, and Klinsmann's kid. You got to call up like Michael Bradley just because, right?
Michael Bradley's an assistant at
Red Bull. He's got a few minutes left in him just for the lulls.
Well, I had to think about it. I was thinking he might have been an assistant for the US.
Or get him and Kenny Arena called up to the coaching staff.
Kenny's a coach.
Yeah, let's do it.
Nepo 101. I'm in for it.
There is something to be said for a Nepo baby team. It'd be pretty good.
It'd make all the right people unhappy, and that would make me happy.
Oh, good. Is there anything else for FCC we want to touch on before we look ahead to Philly?
Let's look ahead to Philly.
Let's go to Philly. Let's head on over to part 2. Hi, Kevin Wallace on the Cincy Postcast. And I have to ask you, have you ever felt like you have too much free time on your hand? Have you ever sat there and thought, I could be doing literally anything else than what I am doing right now? Do you have a full-time job, but you are desperate for a reason to be doing something else while you should be doing that job? Well, I have an opportunity for you. The Post is looking to add to its team, and we need a social media administrator, aka an admin, and we would love to have another writer on the team. If either of these, or hell, both of these, sound at all appealing to you, hey, reach out. Let me know, okay? You can email us at contact@thepostcincy.com. You can reach out in DMs in all of our various social media platforms, or just reach out in the Discord. But we'd love to have somebody write about soccer, specifically FC Cincinnati, but I won't get too picky, and a social media admin. If this sounds like you, come on home, baby. We got you. All right, we are back, and boy, this is a big one. I have it written down here, Chief. FC Cincinnati hosts Philadelphia Union. That's not the part I have written down. I remembered that one. The question is this the biggest match of the season?
To date, yes. And I don't know that it's particularly close. I'll hear arguments for either one of the hell is real just because it's Columbus and everybody always gets up for hell is real. But
CCL, Tigres away.
No. I expected to lose that. Like I expected to lose CCL, so it didn't feel real. It was like, yeah, I mean they could win here, but they ain't gonna they're gonna win this.
It didn't have to be the biggest game because of other games that happened.
Fair enough.
But like in context, it's the biggest game, right? Because there's fewer games left this year. Teams are where they are on the standings at this point.
Yep.
This is the best chance to make like real progress in the Eastern Conference race, in the Shield race.
Yeah.
Like Philly is ahead of us on the game they beat us. Right?
Yes.
So we can hold serve and
beat them.
And take control of the Eastern Conference race.
Yeah.
And that games earlier in the season can't have that immediate consequence. So like, because of what's happened already and because of where both teams are, it is clearly the biggest game of the season, I think.
Is it possible then to go back after the season and then retroactively anoint what was the most important game of the season?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
If we go back,
I think you could do that. Yeah.
Yeah, go back and decide like, oh, the Nashville away ended up being the most important game of the season or whatever.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, because you'll have the benefit of like where everybody ended up.
Yeah.
If Miami ends up 1 point behind us,
right,
beating Miami 3-0 in Cincinnati was the biggest game of the season.
right.
Like, yeah, you could go back and do all types of crap like that. But yeah, based on what we know and where we are, this is the biggest game of the season. And it's not close.
No, it's not even remotely close. Like the other thing too is that if they lose this game on Saturday, they have the potential, based on how other results go, to fall as far as down to 6th place.
Yeah,
in the Supporters Shield standings. I'm sorry, no, 7th place. Excuse me, 7th place in the Supporters Shield standings. They it's incredibly bunched at the top of the race. So that they could legitimately end the day either 1st in the Shield race or 7th in the Shield race.
Crazy.
And not for nothing either. It's like they got their ass handed to them on, Saturday last week. And when you get punched in the mouth like that at home, the immediate question is how do you respond to that? And the last time this team really got kind of punched, it went into a little mini tailspin in the week we don't like to talk about. And part of what Pat Noonan has been good at prior to this year, and prior to that week specifically, is keeping the team from, really having those 1 week goes into 2, turns into 3, turns into 4. And they've had the benefit of a full week of training. There are some new pieces that are in, a lot of new pieces that are in. There's some pieces that are getting healthy. I just think that in this match, I think we talked about it on Sunday. This is sort of the ticket this is the admission ticket to the Supporters Shield race. You win this, it's, game on for the final 5. You lose this, you're going to need a lot of help from a lot of other teams in order to probably make a run at anything. And it makes it exceedingly unlikely, I think.
Yeah. I think that's correct. I don't think a loss knocks us out of the Shield race just because it is so tight, and it is possible with the following match being against Nashville, who is also in this race. Yeah. Again, not ideal, not rooting for it, but you can envision a scenario where splitting a win and a loss between Philly and Nashville gets you about where you're looking to be. But on that note, though, in terms of if the Shield is the goal, how do we feel about a draw?
I don't like a draw. I think you got to win. You got to win this game. This is almost a statement game for the team. Like, you got to tell me what your intention. You got to state your intentions for the rest of the year. And if your intentions are to be a trophy winning team and to make a challenge at Shield and be a force in the playoffs, this is a game you win. You go and you win this game. And not for nothing, Pat Noonan has the chance to set the record and this team has a chance to set the record for most wins over a 3-season span by any club in the post-shootout era. They can do that by winning this week. Wow. He can do that by winning against his old team. Right in their face, right in Ernst Tanner's face. This is big. And you get the sense, just listening to some of the media around this team and some of the way that like everything's going this week, you get the sense they feel that too a little bit, I think.
I also agree. This is like, I always shy away. I shy away from this and like, or even like jokingly buy into it. But this feels like about as must win of a game as you could possibly have in the MLS regular season.
Right.
Okay. In MLS regular season, where there's no elimination and 9 teams make the playoffs and, 4 teams get home advantages to start the playoffs. Right. And so like, you would think like generally you'll be fine.
Right.
But this is as like must win of a game as you could possibly have in the MLS regular season for the reasons Chief said. And also, this is the like John Wick, like people keep asking me if I'm back.
What's the answer?
I'm thinking I'm back, right? Like, Are you thinking you're back or are you not back? Like, that's this game.
Yeah. Are you thinking you're back, or are you going to be killed by Joe Burrow in the final movie that your franchise happens in? Kevin, I get the sense
Burrow?
The guy in the final John Wick movie is a dead ringer for Joe Burrow. Like, it's all I could think about when watching the movie.
Well, I think there's another John Wick movie coming out. By the way.
Yeah. As they said in Last Action Hero, you can't die, not until the grosses go down. Kevin, I get the sense that you do not believe this is a must-win game based on the tenor of your questions here.
It's not that. What I am attempting to do here is I'm trying to, and this may be illegal now, I'm trying to give people a take vaccine, which is the result of this game not going our way and everybody screaming, throwing their hands up and saying the season is over. It is not good. Don't get me wrong. It would be suboptimal. There would be lots of difficult questions to be asked, but also the team would not be out of any trophies that it is currently in for as of recording if this does not end in a win. A win makes a lot of those things way easier. Do not misunderstand what I am saying. I sense a degree of panic among some corners of the fan base. And I just want to tell them it'll be okay. This is a big game. This is an important game. The season does not come down to this game.
I understand what you're saying. And we saw a lot of it in the Discord this week and the conversations going around.
Yeah.
And where I would push back on you and tell you that you're full of shit.
Fair.
Is I think some degree of panic is warranted.
Okay.
Right now, with not to rehash all the conversations we had this past weekend, but just you have a team that does not seem to be able to generate offense when it needs to.
Yeah.
And does not seem to be able to impose its will on other teams that are inferior when it needs to. And what you are looking at is you are looking at another team as of right now, before all these new signings come in and before everything comes out, a team where you just have a very difficult time seeing this team coming back from a 1-0 deficit at any point during a playoff.
Yeah.
And this game against Philly, for better or worse, is a acid test for this is the type of team you need to beat in the playoffs. You need to go out there in a game that matters, which this game does, that has stakes, which this game does, where you are the team that they're gunning for, which they are, and you've got to be able to go out there and you've got to win this game. And if that's winning with Noonan ball, where they win 1-0, that's fine. But like, we need to see proof of concept that Noonan ball can work against a Bradley Carnell coach team and a top team in the East right now. If that's going out there and flexing the new muscle because you got Brenner, Evander, and Denke on the field, even better. But like, the degree of panic, given, what this team has looked like offensively, especially over the last couple of home games, I think it's real. And I think that until we get some sort of answer in the alternative of, no, this team can score goals and this team can go out there and punish a team.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going away, and it's just going to get louder as it goes along. And I think the criticism for all of the record setting and the This is not a fire Pat Noonan by any stretch of the imagination, because as I was saying this week, the odds of you getting a worse manager if you do that are exponentially higher than the odds of you getting a better manager. And he's been objectively successful and objectively good during his tenure here in Cincinnati. But the panic is warranted in terms of, does this team have what it takes to be back, to get to the next level?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are more worse managers than Pat Noonan than there are better managers than Pat Noonan.
Significantly more.
way more worse managers than Pat Noonan than there are better managers than Pat Noonan. So I'm with Chief that the odds of replacing Noonan with a better manager. And again, I'm not entertaining I'm not entertaining a managerial change. I want to be clear. Okay. But I think it is important to talk about the teams, to be able to talk about where the team has fallen short without that being interpreted as we want to clear house and fire everybody.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah.
Having said that, if they lose this game, Noonan out, right?
Yeah. So you said earlier, there's the whatever the record is, right? Most wins in a
3-year span.
3 years.
Yeah.
You don't get a trophy for that.
You probably should.
Well, they got one.
They got one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
the 3-year rolling supporter shield.
And this is going to sound, I don't know, entitled maybe.
You never.
But the expectations for this team, I don't think are finish middle of the playoffs or top 4 in the East and lose early in the playoffs. Right?
Correct.
You don't spend $12 million for Evander and $16 million for Kevin Denke, and then also bring Brenner in and also have more TAM players than anybody else in the league. Because you're we just want to make the playoffs and maybe if we're lucky, some good stuff will happen. Right.
We might get a semifinal if we eke it out. Yeah.
You want to be this team has put out, I think, a statement of intent.
Yes.
That they want to they want to win this league. They want to be the best team. They want to beat good teams. They want to win trophies. Right. And every time they've had an opportunity to compete for a trophy this year, they've shrunk. Right? They got drummed out of Champions League.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, most MLS teams get drummed out of Champions Cup. They have a lot of company.
Not all, right? We're not trying to be most MLS teams. We're trying to be a top team.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? And Vancouver made the finals.
Yeah.
Last year, Columbus made the finals. Right?
LAFC the year before. Yep.
I don't think it's other teams lost. Why should we? I don't think it's how they're thinking.
Right.
Right. But they folded at home against Tigres and then got killed down there. They had a terrible sequence down there.
Yeah.
Leagues Cup. They kind of mute out.
Yeah.
Of Leagues Cup. They lost in penalties to a much inferior team in the second game of Leagues Cup, and then they just said, no, we're done with this, right? And then so to also lose this weekend against Philly, given the opportunities they've had to beat bad teams where they drop points, and then to basically be out of the Shield race puts a lot of pressure on the MLS Cup playoffs.
Yeah.
And I don't want people to say the season's lost.
Right.
If they lose to Philly, because the season's not lost, you still can win MLS Cup.
Yeah.
But it's also at the same time, not a good sign, not a good trend.
Right.
For how this team holds up to pressure.
I think that's fair.
That's I think a fair criticism. you know, that when it's crunch time, they don't get it done. Like, yeah, they're better than most of the teams they play. They have better players. They have a better coach.
Yeah.
They can beat most teams in this league more often than not. And the results on the sheet, the results in the standings show that.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
And they have. Right. But, you know, when it comes to like a must-win game, where both teams are coming into it and thinking, we are scheming and planning this game as if it's do or die.
Yeah.
Can they get it done? That's not clear.
Yeah. I think that's completely fair, completely valid. So I
think they have it. Like, I think everybody involved with the organization is more than capable of doing this, but they do have to do it.
So this is interesting. So what I'm hearing from Chief is a results-based outcome will sort of determine his view of this match. Grayson, I guess I'm getting more of an aesthetic appreciation for this match. So like, imagine a world where Philly gets a super early goal. They go up 1-0, and then FC Cincinnati dominates the rest of the game, goes up 2-1 late in the second half, just absolutely playing Philly off the field. Philly gets a random ass lucky break, ties it 2-2. At the death, FCC is awarded a penalty. Evander gives the ball to Brenner. Brenner misses the penalty. How do we feel about that?
I think that this team has told us to judge it by results.
Okay.
Period.
So
not
like
by
a
underlying
good aesthetic
stats,
performance,
not by how pretty it looks.
Yeah, okay.
And if that is going to be your, if that's the bar you're going to set for yourself, then I think that's how I'm going to judge it.
Okay.
Right. I don't like. I'm nagged by how the team fails to like impose its will.
Yes.
On opponents. Okay.
Yes.
But if they can results out to a shield, to a cup, awesome. Right.
Dope.
And so, and that I think is how that's how I think they've declared they want to be judged is by results.
So we'll judge it based on results.
So like, I'll look to the underlying stuff and say, do I think results are going to come based on how they perform so far? Like, that's, I think, the thing you can do.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
But if a game is over, all I care about is did they win or lose?
Okay. No, I think that's good. I like setting the expectations before the match. You know, I want to know where the goalposts are, and then we can judge it accordingly afterwards. All right, we've probably got a little bit longer on this match specifically than we usually do for a preview, but I do want to get to this. Who do we want to see starting at striker, and who do we want to see at both of the wingback positions? And that may necessarily inform center backs, because I think we're all in agreement that Evander, Anunga, and Buka is going to be our midfield.
Strikers, I want to see Denke and Brenner.
I think we're all in agreement.
Absolutely.
There. That's got to be.
I'm not messing around here.
No.
Yeah.
In ink, he knows the system. He's in training the entire week. He's had a full preseason over in Italy. He needs to go at the start.
Also, to the extent the offense is like, we have talented players and we want them to figure it out. Okay, let's put the most talented player out there and
figure it out.
See what happens.
Luca Orishano is returned to training, I believe, today. I know Noonan's system is that if you don't train a full week, you don't start. That's nonsense. Luca Orishano needs to be out there if he's match fit. Like, this team needs him out there.
If he starts, what side are you putting him on?
Putting him on the left-hand side.
Okay.
And then I'm putting Ender Echenike out on the right side as the wing back. Going back and watching a little bit of that debacle from
that's what we're calling it.
from Saturday. Ender spends a lot of time on the right-hand side anyway, doing the kind of things that he would be doing as a wingback. Just it's time to rip the Band-Aid off and let him do that. I would like to think that what they've done for the last couple of weeks is given him a little bit more of a trial run to get out there and get, comfortable being advanced, comfortable receiving the ball in advanced positions.
Yeah.
We'll worry about defense later. Get him out there. He needs to be the wingback. And on the center backs, I assume Miles is probably still out for this match. I don't think he's been training so far this week. So Hagelin, Miazga, and Lucas Engel, like they gave up a goal to Charlotte, but giving up a goal to Charlotte shouldn't doom a game. You should be able to come back from one goal being given up by your back line and at least earn a point there.
NYCFC.
Or yes. NYCFC, yeah, sorry. NYCFC. It shouldn't doom you in a game. So that's what I run back out there again.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think the only question is right center back, and if Miles is fit to play, I run him out. If not, I run out Hagelin. Either way, since I'm starting Orishano at left wing back, it's Lucas Engel at left center back.
Okay. Yeah. No Hadebe and no Flores on the right.
I'm not messing. I don't know. Like I think these are the best. These are the best teams we can field. I don't want to be messing around with this stuff anymore.
Right. The only caveat to that is that if they're going to do the whole Luca Orishano can't start because he's on a minutes limit and we're not going to start him.
Yeah.
In that case, I want Lucas Engel playing wingback over there, and I want a back line of I don't care if Flores or Hadebe. Put one of the two of them in there, and do not put anyone other than I think Brad Smith is hurt, so I don't think we can see a repeat of that.
That's fair.
And I don't think they're going to put Alvis Powell over there. So
no, if Luca Orishano can't play left wing back, it has to be Engel, and then you have to play Flores or Hadebe on the back line unless it's like Miles, Miazga, Hagelin.
Yeah,
which also works, but yeah, like. You have a TAM, you have like $1 million salary center back in Hadebe. You got a U22 center back in Flores, who a lot of people, not me necessarily, but a lot of people called like a successful signing after one game.
I think I was among them. I really like Flores.
I like Flores. I like Flores too. Like these guys, he makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes.
Miazga's had some horrific own goals for this team.
But the point is, like, you have guys that are capable of starting and winning games. Yeah. You have to trust them.
Yes.
And if Flores and Hadebe can't start at center back, that's a problem.
Yeah. That's not good.
And if this team's gonna do stuff, it's gonna have to be able to start them in a pinch, because there's no way that like Brad Smith or Kenji Bomadem
or
at wingback is better than Engel at wingback and one of these guys at center back.
Yeah, completely agree. Also, like, with how long the playoffs are and the best of three, like, you're probably going to need one or both of them in the playoffs to step up and make plays. So don't freeze them out of this team. Okay. It's the 75th minute, and for whatever reason, we have to make a line change at the forward position. Denke, Brenner subbing off. Who we subbing in?
Kai Kamara.
Yep.
And
Oh, if you're making a line
change.
I'm pulling Brenner and Denke. I got to sub in
Dotto.
two. Dotto and Kai.
Dotto and Kai.
Makes
Or
sense.
Dotto and Jabari and just kick the ball high.
We haven't seen Jabari. You mean Kai and Jabari?
Kai and Jabari, yeah. Kai and Jabari and just kick the ball as high as you can.
They're very similar players, allegedly.
We haven't seen Jabari one time. You can't.
I don't even know that Jabari is real. Have we seen photos of Jabari?
We saw him on the screen at the last game.
I'm with you, Chief. I've now moved to Geedy may not be real.
Somebody might see Jabari in training tomorrow.
Possibly you.
Possibly somebody else. Okay. No, I think all of that makes sense. So now we need some predictions. Grayson, what is the score of this game?
He's going to predict a loss.
Of course he
is. I am.
This was the easiest call I've made all year.
I am. I'm going to predict a 2-1 loss.
But do we look good
to Philly? We not really.
Oh, damn it. I'll
again,
cling to aesthetics if I have to.
Again, I'll come out of the game thinking, boy, they haven't got it done this season, but if they get it together in the playoffs, they can take the whole thing. Like that's where I am now. It's where I'll be if they lose.
God, 3 wins in a row here would change the tenor of this season so much.
You mean 3 losses?
No, I definitely meant win. I mean, true statement. It's not what I'm looking at. Chief.
They're going to win 3-0.
Whoa.
Who is they?
Us. FC Cincinnati is
going
to win 3-0.
The FC. Okay.
The FC is going to win 3-0.
I think the third team's going to win 3-0.
Yeah, the third team's going to try. But no, they're going to win 3-0. Goals from Denke, Evander, and Nick Hagland.
Oh, God.
Man, if Nick Hagland scores, I'm going to get an air marshal called on me.
Or the drink cart, one or the other.
I'm trying to think of the most annoying good result, and I think I've come up with it.
It's 1-0. It's always 1-0.
It's 1-0, obviously. 1-2-0
with
1-0.
An early goal and
I'm not
nothing
even
the rest of the game.
I'm not even going to do that move to you because it's going to be a late winner from Dado Valenzuela, and I will become insufferable. Oh, God. So there you go. Those are our predictions. That's what we want to see out of the lineup. I look forward to being mad about this on Sunday. Chief, get us out of here.
Fuck Columbus.
The Cincy Postcast is a production of The Post Cincy. You can check us out online at thepostcincy.com. You can also follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky, Facebook, and Instagram. Twitter and Blue Sky, though, you'll find we're a little more active than the other places. We're also on YouTube, where you can listen to this episode if you aren't listening to it already. We are also putting up video content semi-regularly, including the Away Days series. We want to give a huge thank you to Jim Trace and the Makers for providing the music for this episode. They're a lovely band, and you can find more information out about them in the description of this episode. And if you happen to enjoy what you just heard, can I please ask that you like us, that you rate us on whatever app you're listening to, and maybe more importantly than all of that, share this episode with a friend. When it comes up at work, you're talking about FC Cincinnati, and say, hey, I listened to an FC Cincinnati podcast. I think you guys will like it. It would really, really help us out. Nothing helps a podcast travel more than a good recommendation from a friend, family member. That would be awesome. When it comes to the sorting algorithms that control our lives, a 5-star review would be much appreciated. Also, leaving a sort of written review weirdly does more than that. That's how the algorithms work. So maybe say a nice or a mean thing, whatever. Just as long as you give us 5 stars, that'll really, really, really help us out. And if you are looking for more MLS content, check out our other podcast, The World's Gam. Again, a link will be in the description of this episode. That is where we touch on league-wide storylines and news, and we talk about other games and a couple other teams in there as well. Think you will enjoy it if you are just dipping your toes into Major League Soccer. A huge thank you to all of our sponsors. A even bigger thank you to all of our patrons over at Patreon. But maybe most importantly, thank you for listening to this episode.